Hey, folks. Guess who? It's the Nub. Now and we're about to kick off another exciting adventure of rubbing the
Rhubarb.
We're going to rub the Dude, that sounded like so homoerotic.
It's hot. I'm not going to lie.
Did your wiener move a little bit when he said it?
I'm a little moist.
Because I got to tell you what, mine retracted. I actually...
It inverted.
My wiener did turtle head. It went right back in.
It jumped
quickly. It did. Hey.
It jumped like me at a horror movie.
What's going on there? Hey, everybody. So we're back for another exciting adventure of Rubbing the Rhubarb. We've got some great people, some great guests in the studio. We're broadcasting live tonight, folks, from North Jersey's most famous cigar lounge, the Donnie Cristo Lounge. Again, I'm talking a little bit like a game show host, and the juice hates that. I can't help it. It's just me. So,
you've really tuned down the game show host. You do it now at a very much more acceptable level.
Is it entertaining or is it asinine? Because I can do both.
It sounds like you're just a competent personality that's been doing this for a long time.
You know what? I love getting stroked like that. Because at 63, the only person stroking is probably me. So, but we got with us today the Juice. Juice, introduce yourself to everybody in the audience tonight.
Hey, you guys know who I am. Shout out to all the Juice heads out there.
I love that, the Juice heads. And where's your catchphrase? Hit him with your catchphrase.
I dropped it.
You dropped sexy bitches?
I dropped it, yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to start a new catchphrase
part of the
before I
evolution.
introduce the Big T. I'm gonna do the Guy Ritchie. My catchphrase is "You fucking cunt ya." So that'll be my my new catchphrase. Big T's here tonight, folks.
What's up, guys? BT, the Cashmere Caveman. How you doing?
The Cashmere Caveman, dude. I want to rub the rhubarb of the Cashmere Caveman. We're gonna do that tonight, bro. I still like your ensemble. I like the coupeline.
Yeah, you like the
I
ensemble?
like the flannel shirt. You got it going on. You look really street, really hood. But again, that $10,000 Rolex is throwing us all off.
No,
dude.
it's like, it's a Movado. But I'm sure it's a...
It's a Movado. It's only a
It's a very reasonable
Rolex.
reasonable Movado. It was a Christmas gift from Mrs. BT years ago.
So, bro, I'm like really big time into watches, right? I'm actually wearing the cheapest cheap watches as a work watch, wearing a Fossil that I absolutely beat the balls off of. I use it when I'm digging or hoeing. Any type of yard work, any mechanic work, whatever. I wear this watch. I get compliments on it. I'm like, it's a beater. It's a legit beater. But I was looking. I bought the Divine Miss M a really nice ring for her birthday. And they had a genitally used Rolex Seamaster, which I got to tell you what, $10,000. I was really, really, really thinking about it. And then I thought about all those kids starving in Biafra. And I decided that in Bangladesh. And thought about John Lennon. And for anybody who's my age is getting all these references, I decided to take a pass on it. So... Hey, what are we going to discuss tonight? There's a couple of topics. We wanted to talk about what, bro?
I'd love to get into lockdowns, the pending round 2 of...
Wait, when you say lockdown, do you mean like dominatrix, that kind of lockdown?
That's basically
what do you
what's
think
happening.
about guys that like to be led around the shop right on a leash, on all fours, being whipped by a beautiful woman?
You mean gimps?
Is that what they call them? Gimps?
Listen,
Or are they gimpy guys?
I have a strange amount of respect for anyone that can articulate to their mate what they want sexually and actually have them do it.
How about this? Can we all go at least a little normal missionary? Why does it have to be ball gags and beatings?
I don't know.
And barbed wires and punches in the face?
Because aren't we programmed to push the envelope a little bit? Isn't that who we are?
You go to prison for that. You go to prison, you're going to get all the make-believe consensual sex you want. Do you know they said that to Charles Manson? You know who Charles Manson is, right?
Yes.
And they said to Charles Manson, "Hey, Charles, dude, why are you being awful? Why are you being so quiet?"
I'm producing.
You couldn't produce a hard-on.
I'm producing greatness.
So they said to Charles Manson, dude, you're convicted. You're going to prison. Aren't you afraid of because, he was like with the Beach Boys, all that stuff, He was chasing movie stars around Hollywood and killing them, the bastard. And they said to him, aren't you going to miss, your free life? Aren't you going to miss sex? And this is like, I think it was the late 60s, early 70s. He came out with this and like shocked people. And he goes, what are you talking about? There's plenty of sex in prison. And they're like, ouch. Sorry we asked that question.
He's like, bring it on.
Right. Prison? Sex?
There's
sex in prison.
Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy?
No.
There's
I know of it.
Okay.
I've seen parts of it.
All right.
I get it.
So toward the end, like the prison ass pummelings just take over. Like it just becomes way too prominent. And ironically enough, there's a character named Juice, who's one of the members of the Sons of Anarchy. It's Sam Crow, and he ends up just being used as prison currency. So like one of the Asian gangs comes in.
Wait, hold on, wait a second. He's a biker dude,
Yeah.
and he's being used as currency.
Yeah, he just ends up getting used as currency. Like they're like,
Does
well,
he just gives up?
Yeah. Like there's a scene where I don't remember the exact context, but like like one of the Asian gangs comes in and they said so and so this has to get done and we need this, and he just bends over the cot and goes, have at it. I'm like,
wow.
Could you imagine like that level of
submissiveness or
acceptance? Just
you took this podcast into a dark.
Now, were there people in the
dark
writing
alley.
room of that show that had experience like in biker gangs and in the can?
no. The guy who wrote the show is married to Peggy Bundy.
Wow. That's why she's in it.
Can I say something about Peggy Bundy? Wowie, wow, 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 wow.
She's withstood the test
woof,
of time.
Rough.
She looks all right.
I think she is on fire, but that's me. I thought she was on fire on Married with
She looked
Children.
great.
Dude, 3 hit network TV shows. Well, Sons of Anarchy was on FX, but she had Futurama, which went on for a long time.
She had Futurama for a long time. Dude, you know how much money they fucking make just doing that stupid voiceover shit?
Oh, yeah.
They make boku bucks. Like shovel loads of it.
That's the kind of work I need.
But, dude, real quick, before we get to the lockdown, let's talk about the real lockdown, a show called Oz on HBO. Did you watch that?
That's
I
the real
watched
deal.
Parts of it.
So it's about being in prison, right?
Yeah.
That was
And-
written with actual, I think, Baltimore
Yes.
police.
But here's the thing, right? I watched it for like 2 seasons, and then I'm like, wait a minute. They're never getting out of prison. This is about just being in prison. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
fuck this. I never watched it again. I'm
Oh.
like, this is horrible.
I'm totally anti-sodomy, but I dig prison shows. There's a movie called Dog Pound. Have either of you ever watched this?
Never even heard of it.
It was like a movie on Netflix.
You're actually, you're like, I mean, this is washing over me like a wave of nausea is hitting me. What are you talking about?
It was a movie on Netflix about a juvenile detention center,
Oh God.
and it's it hits every mark, like everything you'd possibly imagine being in a movie about some kind of detention facility or a prison. It hits everyone.
Dude, did you see that movie with who's the guy? He was Almos, the Hispanic guy, really terrific actor. He did that high school movie where he got all the kids to pass. You know. What's his real name?
He's a music teacher.
Yeah. No, that's Mr. Holland's opus.
No.
It wasn't a music teacher. It was a
No,
math, a math teacher.
No, who's Zorro?
No, it wasn't
Antonio
him.
Banderas?
It wasn't him. Anyway, he did a movie called, I think, My America or something like that. And it starts out like he goes to a juvenile detention center and he gets it, like the night he gets there. So, like the next night, he just goes over and slits the guy's throat. I mean, just murders him in his bunk.
That's how it's got to get done, I guess.
And I'm like, why am I watching this?
Well, there's a little movie I like to call Shot Caller. Anyone? You guys never saw that? Really good.
Dude,
well, there's a scene where he gets to prison. He successful business guy. He's out with his wife and another couple, his business partner. He gets in a drunk driving accident, kills his partner in the back seat. Both wives survive. He kills his partner in the back seat. Gets sent away for like 18 months. Now the first scene of him in prison is like they're sleeping in one of those big rec rooms with like multiple bunks. Now the gangs are here, like the black gang, whatever, white Aryan Nation, like they're all separated. So like this one, looks like teenage
milk toast piece of ass.
Yeah, this black kid comes in crying, and he like lights out. They all swarm him. They cover his mouth, and he just gets pummeled.
Right.
And all you hear is like him just like whining, and it's like, oh, like that shit happens, and it's fucking awful.
Right.
Like it's terrifying. Like that there.
What happens to that guy though? I know the
main character.
Yeah. Does he?
No, he ends up. He sees the reality. He gets in like a little squabble with like a black guy. He's a white guy. First day in the yard, and gets approached by the Aryan Nation. They're like, all right, you got to put in some work. And then he just ends up joining the Aryan Nation and gets totally institutionalized. Becomes like, leaves his family, divorces.
Wait, when he comes out, he's an animal?
Well, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but like he's just totally institutionalized. Like this is his life now. It's a really good movie. It's an excellent, excellent movie.
Wow.
I've seen it a few times.
Wow. That'll keep you out of prison. Well,
yes.
Thanks for bringing us completely down and making me afraid.
Well, here's a great transition.
The lockdown.
Yeah, so if you have more than 10 people in your house, you're going to be ass pounded in jail because in New Jersey's state police Gestapo will be knocking on your door.
Gestapo will be knocking at your door. So, how many people do you have for Thanksgiving?
Are your papers? Yeah.
Where are your papers?
Yeah, I'm going to go. It's going to be
Wait, I thought that was our side. I thought Trump fans were Nazis and fascists.
Dude, remember the motto. Whatever they call you, that's what they are. They're calling you that for a reason.
Oh, you must mean projectionism.
That's exactly what I mean. But, dude, here's the thing, right? So, I get it. People die. People are at risk. I am in a high-risk group. I'm overweight, and I'm overage, right? So, I'm there. If you're that nervous about it, you should stay the fuck home.
Yeah.
Right? If grandma's 90, I would not let her go anywhere.
Yeah, grandma should probably be.
She needs to be locked in the bedroom. Sorry, Gram, or you're going to be dead.
Yeah.
But then again, if grandma says, hey, if you can't hear this, let me turn it up for you. Fuck you. I'm going that fuck out.
Yeah, grandma's going her way. Who are you to tell her?
Right. And, Bill Barr, I don't know what happened to that fucking guy. Why is he letting these governors get away with this? You can't. There's nothing in the Constitution, but I guess the state constitution regarding pandemics is. So let me ask you a question. If a pandemic is coming, not here, it's coming, because the Chinese are gonna let loose. Yes,
or somebody else.
I know this is organic. The Chinese didn't invent this, right? The next one that's gonna come, not here. We're gonna lock down.
Yeah.
What do you mean we're going to fucking lock down?
Yeah.
If it comes over, we're going to, we can't, by the way, I hate to break it to you, the hospitals are not overwhelmed.
No. It's just, it's a very dangerous precedent to set. And people are just allowing it. I think this time will be different from a public perspective. Like we all quickly just acquiesced to this lockdown back in March as like a one-off to relieve the burden on the hospitals and flatten the curve. Done.
Right.
And it's been 9 months of this shit.
15 days to slow the spread was what we were told.
Yeah, it's now 9 months. So, and to go back and do this again, this is not about the virus anymore.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, fuck you, pay your taxes.
Oh, yeah. So, you
don't have a job?
Yeah.
Fuck you, pay your property tax.
Yeah. In addition to...
Oh, there's a pandemic? Fuck you, pay your fucking rent.
Yeah. So, in addition to destroying small business, putting people out of work, and that, the government handout, which was bullshit, that's going to get people nowhere, the general public, in fucking New Jersey, where you're going to give me $1,200 to do what? What is that going to accomplish exactly? Fucking nothing.
That's not even rent.
That's not going to pay my mortgage for a month. That's not going to do anything. And then on top of all that, you cost people their jobs. You won't reopen restaurants. You won't reopen this. People can't go here. How many people are still out of work? Now there's more people than ever dependent on the government. and they're happy to do so because they're probably making just a little bit more than they did before. And then to triple down to fuck the general public, you're going to raise taxes. You're going to there's a gas tax now, and you're going to increase tolls on travel. What the fuck is going on? Does no one see what's happening?
Yes, but here's the thing. What do you do about it?
I think there's got to be some kind of... I mean, they moved to impeach the governor of Minnesota because she's psychotic. I mean, how far behind are we? I mean, this guy's a lunatic. He can't handle a fucking snowstorm on a Friday afternoon at rush hour, but he's going to handle a pandemic? We're supposed to leave our health and well-being to this fucking guy?
I'll tell you one key difference between here and Michigan, not to cut you off, Big Tone.
It's a Democrat.
Michigan has a much more balanced legislative
body, right?
Than we do. We have a supermajority Democrat, liberal, psycho, whatever you want to call them. That's why they can possibly impeach her. And plus, the state Supreme Court has already called her out for violating their state constitution. Our state Supreme Court, I don't think is going to do that.
See, what I don't understand is this. You don't have a super Democratic majority by mistake. It's not Newark and Camden doing it. It's everybody in the fucking state is voting Democrat. I just don't get it.
Well, you know why?
A lot of it, too. Don't be surprised if it's gerrymandering with the legislative districts. Now, think about Congressional District 11, which was, I guess Mikey Sherrill just won that again by a landslide. But I told you, Congressional District 11 here in New Jersey, it's about 85% Morris County, about 7% Sussex County. All right, and then the rest is bleeds out into parts of Bloomfield, parts of Clifton. But that's enough for the Democrat to win. That seat's been red for 3 decades. Now all of a sudden it's unwinnable if you're a Republican, okay? So don't think that they don't do that type of gerrymandering when it comes to state legislative districts as well. That's why, you're right, it's not just Newark and Camden, but there's enough big red areas that have legislative districts that bleed just enough into these shithole blue areas that change the whole thing. Now, again, if you want to get back to projection, they're the ones that project and say Republicans are the gerrymanderers. But if that was the case, then how come in this state, for example, we don't have Dick as far as representation in Trenton? So obviously they're the ones doing it.
And here's the thing, when you don't have anything, when you have nothing, you don't want anybody to have anything. Right? And you have your hand out. Your hand is always out when you have nothing. But, I just don't understand. But even with the gerrymandering, dude, I get it. You have a majority of the people voting fucking Democrat.
But the point is, the red areas are so much more spread out and vast. And all you need is a tiny amount of, a Montclair. And that cancels out 90% of Morris County and portions of Sussex County.
Wait, why
because
is that?
The population is so much more dense.
Oh, okay. Well,
in these blue areas. And I was explaining this to my liberal dipshit coworker on Saturday night in Montclair, of all places. And that's just the way it is. And if that's not gerrymandering, I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah, but then that brings us back to the what do you do?
Right. You really have to.
So what do you do? You're gonna go to your Democratic.
Well, no. I think at some point
leaders and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" They're gonna be like, "Go fuck your mother."
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point, these people have to get tired of, that's not freedom.
It's tyranny by majority.
Yeah, now you're taking away people's civil liberties. I mean, you're not allowing people the right to work. You're not allowing people to do anything, and then you're demanding compliance. Is that not communism? I don't know.
Dude, I gotta tell you what. If I didn't have children, I would, and they weren't adults with houses, I would not be in the state for all the tea in China.
Do you know what I did the night of the election?
Why don't we just all move to Austin, Texas?
No, fuck Austin, Texas. I found it. I figured this out. Because after I was so fed up. Now, I don't want to get into, we could get into just the whole election sham. We could do that too. But I went and circled every state that was predominantly red and started looking for houses immediately. I don't know how many people in my family...
Can you live in a state without an ocean?
I could live anywhere that just allows me the freedom to do what I have to do. And it's just about freedom. That's it. I mean, I know I sound like a pie in the sky libertarian, but I just want to be left alone. I want to exercise my freedom of speech, my 2A rights.
You know, the other problem is, and it's a real problem, all these meatballs are leaving states like New York, New Jersey, California, and then they go and vote blue.
In Arizona,
they run away.
Well, look at Virginia.
They run away from
Virginia's permanently blue now.
They
Used to
run
be
away
reliably red.
They run away from the blue.
Yeah.
And then try to make the red blue. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I found it, by the way. The answer is Knoxville, Tennessee. That's the answer. Red, as far as the eye can see. Only Nashville's blue, a little bit, fine. But Knoxville is beautifully red.
I could deal with the blue
Everywhere.
city in a red state because right now all I know is blue cities in blue states, right? But like Austin, you're still in Texas. I mean, I've never been there, so I can't speak like I have. But I feel like you're still in Texas overall, so they're not gonna. It's not gonna be overrun like a place like here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
I
want to bet you
love
can't even
Texas.
fucking smoke a cigar anywhere in fucking Texas.
Well, I love Texas. Don't get me wrong. I've been there multiple times, but my dream was always to just move to like Tucson or Scottsdale and retire. But forget that now. I mean, now it's like I just want to go live on a golf course somewhere and just play a little golf and be left alone. So like I've like in what do you call it? Farragut, Tennessee, Farragut County. I'll go tomorrow.
You know, and the problem is you don't even have any more. I have a friend who's a Democrat, but I could have a reasonable conversation with him. You know, we're talking about Trump, and I said to him, I go, let me just ask you a question. By any stretch of the imagination, was for the 4 years that Trump was in office, was he treated fairly? And he was like, not at all. Not even close. Not even close.
That's about as much as you can hope to get.
Right. And I said to him, so, and he usually has a pretty good answer on things. And I said, dude, you live in New York City. You're getting taxed to death. They said, we're making more taxes. They just ride it up and down your block.
Yeah. What do you
And
do?
they tied the police hands. I'm like, and what do you do about immigration? And he's like, you know, that's a tough one for me to answer because of he goes, you know, if my family stayed where they were, I would have been up in a smokestack. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. But I give everybody this analogy.
Well, wait, legal immigration or illegal immigration?
He actually said at one time, as long as you got your foot into the U.S., you could stay. I don't know when that was. That had to be in, you know, like 1800 nothing. But I said to him, that's fine. I said, but the world...
Yeah, until the dirty greaseballs came here.
The world has changed. And I said, the United States is a lifeboat. At some point, that lifeboat's going to tip over. And then everyone drowns.
Right.
You've got to throttle it.
Yeah. That model financially is just unsustainable. And, like, no one talks about it. Like, this utopia. Like, it financially, you can't do it. And that's what people are missing.
But look, both Republicans and Democrats are guilty of this. You said it earlier tonight. They do everything by feelings. I have a friend who's a Democrat, and I said to him, dude, I'm not debating your I've just got to ask you a question. When somebody comes here illegally, they want to give them maximum health care, maximum financial welfare, free education, and maximum legal service. You know what the guy says to me? You're out of your fucking mind. They never said that.
And driver's licenses.
Right, and driver's license, which they can get now.
Right.
He goes, you know what? You're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh my God.
And free financial aid for college.
Do you not read your own manifestos? Do you not listen to your own politicians?
No.
This is your side, not my side.
Yeah, I'm not making this up.
That's bullshit. It's never going to happen. Oh, really?
It's happening. Yeah. I mean...
So I don't know. And Republicans, too. You know, well, the best thing is when they say Trump's a racist. Got it. He's a racist. Got it. I agree with you. So since we agree with that, we both agree with it, right? He's a racist? Yes. Okay. I don't remember. What did he say that was racist? Because I can't remember. Well, Down in North Carolina, he said, but read the whole thing, was taken out of context.
Yep.
Let's put that one aside. What else has he said? I got nothing. Okay, got nothing. Got it. What policy has he put in place that's been racist? Was it the policy helping out the all-black colleges? Because I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, it was
And helped them out for 10 years, not 1 year at a time.
It was the opportunity zones, I think, that might have been racist.
Well, there's the
because they were only in black areas predominantly.
Right. Right, but you can't. But those people are gone. Like, you can't have that conversation anymore. Like, they've made up their mind.
So
with or without fact.
Couldn't have been the Second
feel
Chance
justified.
Act.
But here's the other thing, right? I reconciled. I got up one day and I'm like, I guess it was the second day after the election. Pretty disappointed. Oh, I guess Biden's going to be the president. Okay. I did not have one inclination to go out and smash car windows, kill police, start a riot.
No.
You know. And I'm like, so what happened? What would happen on the other side if he was declared a winner? They were all set for riots.
Yeah.
You know, and tearing up and they want to destroy the world. Okay, but no, does nobody see that? I think the answer is they do see it, because the presidential election was not this media-hyped blue wave.
Yeah.
Not by a long shot.
No.
Well, just look at the House. As rigged as this election was, the Republicans flipped 10 blue seats red.
Right. That's amazing to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it
And that's not to say I think my vote counted, because I'm convinced my vote did not count.
No. What are you saying? You said
this mail-in thing, I think it's a total scam. And I know I checked at 7 p.m. on election night to see if they even took my vote out of the envelope.
No, they already said. If you checked online, it takes weeks for them to catch up online. By the way, is it too hot in here?
No,
okay.
It's good. It's going to get hot. No, mine said accepted.
Why, you taking your shirt off?
Not anymore, bro. Those days are over.
But how do I even know that they saw my ballot, saw who I voted for, and didn't just throw it the fuck out?
There's no way to quantify that.
Guys.
And just from what I saw going across the whole country, look at Michigan. Trump's up by, 700,000 votes or whatever he was. Oh, no, he was up by that much in Pennsylvania. He was up by a few 100,000 in Michigan. They stopped counting because they need to figure out how many votes they're behind to catch up on.
Right.
Then at 4:30 in the morning, they drop off 450,000 votes, all for Biden, and nobody voted down ballot on any of those votes. And you can't even tell me there was one person tripped out on meth that didn't vote for Trump by accident. It was all fucking 100% Biden out of 450,000 votes. That makes me feel like a lot of people's votes didn't count.
Well, that to me is the only conversation that.
And that makes me feel like we live in a banana republic now.
Well, like if nothing else, right? Like if this Dominion thing, the voter, whatever, the mail-in ballots, if all this stuff you want to discredit, you still in your mind cannot tell me that you can quantify that I went to bed at 3:30 in the morning with Trump having multiple point leads in all these swing states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin,
Arizona,
Georgia. Not Arizona at the time, but Georgia.
But all right, well, we'll talk about that later.
States,
Nevada,
multiple point leads, and you wake up at 7 o'clock and they're all gone. How the fuck is that possible?
And who stops counting?
They were supposed to stop counting, and all these leads evaporated while we were sleeping. You mean to tell me that you don't ask questions?
Here's what they said in like 3 or 4 states. Well, what happened was we tabulated all the votes where people came in and voted. And then we started counting the mail-in votes.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because you need to know how many more votes you need.
They had to make up the difference.
Right, to overcome the lead.
You can't tell me that he doesn't get that's statistically impossible for him not to get a single vote in a 4-hour process through a mail-in voting system.
Here's the problem. States elect the president. States make the voting rules. If these states keep mail-in voting, because it's such a success, in place, you will never have a Republican president ever again.
No, and what's to stop them from doing that? To stop them from not doing it. How else would you vote?
That's what I'm worried about.
I mean, if you see how ripe it is and how easy it is to manipulate
an election,
why would you go back? New Jersey will never go back. We'll never vote in person again. Ever.
I really, like I said, I'm going to have to be convinced from here on out that my vote actually does count.
Well, I'm going to have to be convinced from here on out that any of these elections are legitimate. I mean,
It's sad.
this one clearly is fugazi in some way.
Wow. Half out.
There's questions that have to be asked, and the nothing to see here crowd is only making it worse.
And what?
The nothing to see here crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you know what would scare me more than anything? If the liberal media was like, bring it on.
Right. If they have nothing to hide, then let's
have an audit and let's just prove to you idiots that Joe Biden won this election legitimately. If they said that, I'd be shitting in my pants. I'd be like, oh wow, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe he lost. But
let's talk about that for a second.
Well, they have a shitty bluff. That's the problem.
Let's talk about
for them.
That for a second. Hold on.
Yeah, I'll stay on it. But everyone telling me that there's nothing to see here.
Let's talk about that for a second. I want to get into that for just a second. So you're saying if Trump won, hold on. If Trump, let's say it was reversed and it was Trump,
mm-hmm.
and they were saying what we're saying is, no, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Recount.
Right.
Do you think the Republicans would be like, yeah, fucking recount? I don't give a fuck.
I would hope so. I mean, look, I can 110% deal with losing. I can deal with losing. I'm an adult. I mean, I've been in sports my whole life. I've said it before, played college ball, and I've lost. I've gotten beat, I've lost, and I can accept that. But when you know something's not right, it's harder to accept. I mean, you see what's going on, and you know something's up.
Did he lose because there was cheating and fraud, or did he lose because of the mail-in vote?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, no, I think
you understand what I'm asking.
I hear what you're saying. I think there's potentially both, or the mail-in voting I think was skewed toward the people that would have never come out anyway.
Exactly.
And there's probably
both sides.
Okay. A little bit. I mean, I think you saw just from the number of votes that Trump got. I mean, I think a lot of that was his own base, their enthusiasm. But I'm sure there's people that would have never left their house who were like, nah, I don't really care. I like Trump. I like guns. I like this. There's people that exist that probably just would have went out and just sent in a mail-in vote. But I mean, how easily manipulated is that? I mean, if it's just Dominion, if it's just malware, if it's just this, this electronic voting system where you can manipulate votes, okay. But like, you have to minimize the margin of error. And this mail-in voting is just, it's so suspect.
So
because there's zero way to track.
I heard something on the way here that the last election, 2016, so these weren't mail-in votes because there were no mail-in. It was absentee only. They had like a 6.4 rejection rate for whatever matter, whether they did the envelope wrong or the signatures didn't line up or whatever. So the rate was like 6.4 rejection. For this election, including all the mail-in ballots, the rejection rate was like 10 times less.
I think it was less than 1%.
Than the 6.4. So it was like 0.64 rejection rate for 80 million ballots. I don't know how many absentee ballots there were in 2016, but it was nowhere near 80 million. It was probably, I honestly don't know how many mail-in ballots are usually in a typical election, but it's got to be, a million, if that? It can't be that much.
I don't know.
And it's over the course of a few months also, by the way. It's not just like election night.
I tend to think that skews Democratic for mail-in voting, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know that for a fact. I just think, there's just so many questions.
But what do you do about it, bro?
I don't know.
I don't give a fuck if California and New York have mail-in. It's never going to be right anyway.
It's not going to change anything.
Right.
But Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Pennsylvania's huge.
Well, that could potentially fuck us worse on a state level. We're just talking about legislatively how fucked we are because it's supermajority. But if we turn into mail-in for state level elections, then, I mean, forget it then.
So who made the call, fuck it, we're doing mail-in? Who made the governors?
I guess
all the governors, man.
Yeah, but the governors can't legislate. They can't do that. They can't change the voting rules. The state legislature has to change the voting rules, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, the state legislators can and will certify who wins each state. They're the electors. So
yeah, I don't know.
Say you have like a red state where there's something fishy going on. They can just give it to Trump if they really wanted to.
I think they have that in these states. So it's got to get there, though. I don't know. I mean...
So you said something interesting earlier. You said, your first mistake is you have the news on, and you're reading the news. I am watching the news, and the news is saying on every station, everywhere, Trump has no evidence, and let me finish. Their legal team is falling apart, and they're saying that they're winning no legal battles anywhere. So tell me where they're wrong.
Right. Okay. I mean,
how do you know he has no evidence? They're not talking to all his attorneys, and you're not going to present your evidence on network TV. You have to present it to a judge in a court.
Right.
Like, they're taking... They know they're fucking lying. They know they're misleading people. And first of all, you said it before, and I want you to say it again. Since when does the mainstream media determine who the president-elect is? What I think you said there's two things that determine that.
First of all, he's not Joe Biden is not the president-elect.
But why not?
There's only two ways you get to be president-elect, and then the transition starts and everything else.
Right.
First, the other party must concede and say, fuck it. Hands up in the air. I concede. It's over. Second, the Electoral College needs to levy those votes upon you, and then you become the president-elect, right? So just because Joe Biden and Obama and Michelle Obama are saying, I can't believe he's doing this, he's really mean, I don't get it.
Well, and the whole mainstream media is saying he's president-elect.
He's not going to leave the office in a peaceful way. I mean, it's all over the media that he's not going to leave.
And by the way, Joe Biden keeps putting this banner behind him that says president of the office of the president-elect. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
That doesn't exist.
Well, here's where it kind of... I think in 2020, like in this today, this is where you fall. You either, A, you watch the news, and this is where you get your information from, and you believe A, or B, you think they're all lying. I think
70% of the country thinks they're lying.
I think there's very little crossover. Like even like Fox News, where you go to get whatever
I fucking hate
quote
Fox
unquote
News.
conservative
I hate
views.
Fox News.
Well, that's gone. That's dead. I mean, they showed who they were during the election, so that's
right.
That's out the window. Now you either a believe little One America News or Newsmax or one of these little stations, and that's where you go to get your news. Okay, but like you have to fall into one of those two categories for the most part. You almost can't cherry pick what you choose to believe, because you either A, have taken the red pill completely and don't believe anything you see on the news that's agenda driven, or the liberal media's whatever agenda they're pushing. Either that's it, or you just you taken it hook, line, and sinker. You've taken the whole rhubarb and swallowed the whole thing.
Well, I like what Joe Biden said today. He said it yesterday too. Trump's putting even more lives at risk. He is not starting this transition, and if we can't get this transition for the COVID process in place, people are going to fucking die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, jerk off.
Just like people die.
First of all, he doesn't have to do a transition at all. That's number one.
Right.
There's no law.
Right.
Number two, if he doesn't do the transition, it doesn't mean that Operation Warp Speed just evaporates on January. What date is it in January?
20th?
23rd or something. It doesn't evaporate. Those people just don't go home.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this.
Everything is still in place.
Right. And let me ask you this. And I've started asking all my super liberal friends this question. Okay. Right. If nothing else, if none of this stuff comes to fruition, Joe Biden is the president-elect.
Right.
Okay. Let's live in that world for a second.
Okay. Let's do it. Yeah. I'm with you.
What's the plan? What the fuck are you waiting for?
No, he's got a plan.
Yeah, but what is it?
No, I can't tell you that.
What is it?
I can't tell you that.
It's like that old, who is it? Larry the Cable Guy. We'll show you how to save your life at 10. Yeah, but it's 7. What if I get attacked now?
Right.
What are you waiting for? If this is the plan that you've had, if you have the whatever the golden ticket is to beat COVID and smash the disease, and you're the one holding all the cards. What the fuck are you waiting for?
Well, as Guy Ritchie would say, this fucking cunt.
Yeah.
He had a doctor on today talking about the number of people that are going to die if we don't do this transition, and on the flip side,
it's just such
there's
propaganda.
There's another doctor, and I can't remember his name. He has black hair, good-looking guy. He has been doing nothing but whipping out his fire hose and wetting down anything that has to do with Trump and COVID and deaths and this and that. I saw him yesterday on CNBC. Oh, we have these vaccines. They're coming out. It's going to be great. We're going to slam this thing. But I'm like, wait a minute, motherfucker. What? And I say this to people, and they're like, you're such a fucking asshole. I'm like, don't worry. It doesn't matter who. After the election, so it's going to go away.
Well, by the way, it was very convenient for Pfizer to wait till the week after the election to announce that they have the vaccine ready to go. And apparently they weren't part of Operation Warp Speed either.
Oh, really?
Which they were, but wink, wink, CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, MSDNC, Comcast, whoever the fuck else. Fucking scumbags.
Well, finish your thought. What?
That was my thought.
Well, either way, like, what are you waiting for? If you're parading around this country as the president-elect, okay, say you may be. Fine.
Right. You might very well be.
You could be. And in all likelihood, you are. What are you waiting for?
Well,
Nub, the thought was they did it to not give Trump any credit before the election when people could still vote, is my point.
No, we get your point, but Big Tone's point is this. Big Tone is saying, if you're the president-elect and you're that fucking confident and you want it,
yeah.
Hey, guys, everybody calm down. Two things. President Trump does have a plan in place. It's flawed. We don't like it. He has a plan. Our plan is better. So let's go to the videotape. I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do.
Right.
Now, he's not doing transition, so it's going to be delayed. Wish it wasn't. But we can't do anything until January 23rd anyway. But in the meantime, when January 24th comes along, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. What the problem is, though, is, Mr. President-elect, if you do that, isn't there going to be a burp? Isn't there going to be like a lag because you had to do this big transition? Can't you just enhance the plan that's already in place? Isn't that the smart move?
Yeah.
I don't see Tripper or Trapper or Acosta or anybody asking.
He's not going to get a single tough question.
Yes, he is. He really had a tough time what flavor ice cream he likes. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, I'm actually done.
Well, his plan has always been exactly what Trump's doing. We got to wear masks. We got to social distance. We got to blah, blah, blah. We got to lock down. Yeah, that's happening, dude. Like, that's going on.
Right.
What else do you want to do? You're going to lock us down? You're going to keep us in our houses? I'm going to wear a mask while I'm wearing a mask while I'm making love to Mrs. BT? I don't think so. That's your plan? That's not going to work either.
Hold on, I want to think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's not going to work either. Like, his plan's always just been like a souped up kind of like communist version of
how many people are going to say you can't come over, we can't have more than 10 people. Get the fuck out.
I believe he also said everyone should be wearing a mask inside the home as well.
That's nuts.
And take your mask off to eat in between bites.
That's completely fucking insane. If that's the plan.
Did he really say that, or are you just saying that just to get us all pissed off?
Look it up.
I mean, how far off of that or are we already? Like, so, that kind of brings us back to the state lockdown. It's incumbent upon each of us to be like, go fuck yourself. That's the only way this changes. Because we're not going to get any help from the government. We're not local government, state government. We're not going to get any help there. We're not going to get any help from our, small local government.
Do we do this?
But at what point
do we do this? Do we start with calling our council members in our own towns and our mayors that are all Democratic and say, you better tell...
That's 45 minutes, folks.
What do you want to do? You want to wrap up?
I feel like I have another 15.
Yeah. I think that's what we do is like, at our next council meeting, we go on video and say, when are you guys going to end this? When are you going to talk to the governor or your next level up and say, this is too much?
Yeah, enough. Enough's enough.
When is enough enough?
Yeah, you talk about, remember all those NFL commercials? Like enough's enough about sexual assault and spousal battery. Enough's enough.
Right.
Enough's enough.
Who are those commercials for? Their own players?
Yeah, enough's enough. I mean, like, what are we doing? This is here now. And whoever wants to take that vaccine, wait till they try to mandate it. That's going to be something else. Fuck you. You're going to have to come in my house and tase me to put me out to take that fucking thing. You're going to have the state troopers come in my house, me and my family and my kids, and fucking tase us. And you're going to need a fucking battalion. Because if you think you're putting that shit in my kids or my wife or me, you're nuts. Warp speed, it usually takes years to formulate these things. They're going to do it in 9 months. Look, I love Trump too, but I'm not getting that fucking vaccine. Not even close. I'm a healthy 36-year-old man. There's no reason I need that vaccine. Zero. And I don't. If I'm giving it to somebody else, don't come near me.
So I'm past 60, right? A little bit overweight. I should lose the weight. I have atrial fibrillation. I'm pretty high risk. I won't say I'm high risk because I think I'm overall pretty healthy otherwise. But if somebody said you got to shoot up, fuck you.
No, I do not.
Not doing it. Not doing it.
No.
I tell you what. You do it.
Yeah, you do it.
You do it.
And wait till they try to cancel Christmas. Just wait.
Oh,
you think this is done?
Jake Tapper already said Christmas is canceled on CNN.
Yeah, right. Okay.
His words, not mine.
That's what I mean. Like, at some point, this is going to have to come down to we the people.
So if Biden, the next tranche of negativity from the media is going to be this. Biden's in office, and so's Heels Up Harris. She's in office, right? And they're going to work on, I'm going to say 12 to 18 months he's out, right? She takes over.
I don't think he sees 2022.
I think I'll argue with you with that, and I'll tell you why. Jill Biden will be the Eleanor Roosevelt signing everything off behind the scenes like Nancy Reagan. Guaranteed. She's not going to want to give that up. She's going to take Joe by the back of the head and say, no, fuck you. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Joy Behar has already started, and I can't stop. By the way, guys, never leave your TVs on Channel 7 or Channel 2. I always go to the History Channel before I go to bed and leave that on. Because just like when your phone is off and they're listening and your TV's off, they're doing their Nielsen-type ratings, looking at, if you go to bed and Channel 2's on, everybody loves the Colbert Show. Not that I fell asleep at 9:30 and I left it on Channel 2. But the next tranche of negativity is going to be this, and Joy Behar started it last week with, Trump is, maybe you don't understand, he's evil. She legit said this, he's evil, he's bad. Do you realize the mess that he has left for Joe Biden?
Yeah.
So when they can't get anything done,
oh yeah, well
it's the mess that we were left.
Well, that's the standard playbook, right? You blame the person before you, and we do it in sales, don't we? Like when something's wrong with an account.
Actually, Trump does it too with
everybody
Obama.
does that. Everybody does that. Like in sales, right? When you take over an account. So and you're trying to ingratiate yourself to the people that you're now working with. You're like, right. I don't know what the fuck that person before me was
That guy
doing.
was psycho.
Yeah, he neglected you. He was incompetent.
He was
I'm sorry, but here's what I'm prepared to do for you now.
He was me.
That's standard. That you have to expect that.
And I hear you, and I agree with you on that. But my thing is, you're going to have hey, are we really only one senator away from losing the majority in the Senate?
This recount in Georgia is fucking huge.
If we lose that, we could lose the Senate.
Yes.
And then we'll have the House and
the Senate, and then that's it, and then we're done. And then there's no stopgap to this nonsense.
And they were already saying, don't pull people out of the Senate for being on the cabinet.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's going to fuck us up. And don't pull people out of Congress.
Right.
That's going to fuck us up. So can somebody explain to me exactly, because I'm so nervous about it, I haven't been paying attention, what is exactly going down in Georgia?
I think that they're recounting the Senate race. I think it's basically like they're just recounting.
They're gonna have a runoff.
Oh, that's it. I'm sorry.
In
runoff,
January.
But he said that anybody could vote in the runoff, not the people, just the people who voted.
Anybody that registers between now and Election Day can vote in this runoff because it's a state law that they're allowed to do that.
You can't fight that then. You can't fight
Some
that.
states have that law. Some states require that you had to vote on
What makes you so confident
Election
that
Day.
they're going to have a runoff and not just a recount?
No, they said it.
Because they said they're going to have
That's
a runoff.
right. You're right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Which
Different states have different rules of different ways of doing this.
So how many Republican and Democrat senators do we have right now?
I think isn't there one that's tied?
I honestly have been tuning out a little bit from this because I'm just waiting for it to shake out because it's just draining.
Well, because you have to function. You have to do shit on a normal basis. You have to be a parent. You have to pay your bills. You have to go to work. I mean, you have to do things that if you just watch this and you see it's infuriating and just like totally knocks you off what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, you have to tune out a little bit.
What I'm a little upset is, the basic American people are putting up with the propaganda that's coming out of every product that's shilled on TV and radio.
Yeah.
I mean, even that is politicized.
It's
right?
everything.
It's absolutely fucking everything. And pretty soon, it's going to get to a point where, when do you stop pointing a finger and blaming?
Never.
When?
Never.
When?
Never. Well, no, never. The answer is never. Because eventually there's going to be nobody in charge. If they win the Senate, that's it. Like, you're never going to have a Republican anything
Ever again.
They'll make it so. And then who's to blame?
Dude, if that's the case, because what they want to do is they want to start taxing you by asset, right? So what they do is they're going to look at what you have at the end of the year, your house, your car, and they're going to say 10%. So let's say you have a net worth of, and this is going to sound like a lot of money to some people, and I understand that depending upon where you live. Let's say you're a millionaire, right? What's a millionaire? Well, you have a house. It's worth $450,000. You and your wife have a 401k, right? Mother and father die. You get a little bit of money. You're a millionaire, right? So wait, you're a millionaire? 10%, $100,000.
Yeah.
Pay it.
Yeah. Where's that coming from?
Well, it's coming from all the fucking rich people, right?
Yeah, how's okay? So by that metric, I'm a millionaire.
Half the country's a fucking millionaire.
Well, right, but where the fuck does the $100,000 come from?
It's going to come from, you got to pay it. Sell your fucking house. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't. Yeah, right.
That's what it's going to be.
But you can't take it off the table with these people because there's just no.
Dude, if they get the Senate and Congress, it's fucking game over.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll all be the same.
Why was everybody crowing about? Well, at least we kept the Senate. We didn't keep the Senate.
Well,
Well, it was before the Georgia nonsense.
Well, it was before everybody went to sleep.
Right. Yeah,
that was the same thing. I mean, all these.
It was before the magic hours.
Yeah, Republican senators were way ahead. John James.
Does anybody know what's really happening in Pennsylvania?
No. I don't think anybody really knows because either A, you know what the media tells you, or B, the Trump campaign is not telling you anything. So I don't think we know what's going on.
Yeah, the president's been awful quiet.
But everyone around him is oddly confident. Does that push you one way or the other?
Well, I don't think they're going to tell the media what they know anyway, to be honest with you. I think we'll all find out when it comes out, when they go to court with it. But let the media talk shit. Let them talk all the shit they want, because what are you going to do, present your case on fucking CNN?
No. Well, how many times does this guy have to pull a rabbit out of his hat before people just stop doubting him on some of this stuff? Like,
I just want to see it play out.
I just can't believe, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this. I just can't believe how, I'll just say certain people don't like Trump because he's on Twitter.
Feelings, bro.
What kind? I need a president who spends a lot less time on Twitter. Really? Why?
Yeah.
Because people don't vote on policy. They don't care that he's the most anti-war president we've had in our lifetime. He's the only president since I've been alive. I don't know about you, but only president since me and you have been alive that hasn't started a new war.
Well, here's the thing, right?
No one seems to
I
fucking care.
actually-
But he's Hitler. But he's Hitler.
I've actually said this to my wife. I was like, your kids are a little older. You're lucky. Your kids are a little older. Chances of them getting drafted or having to fight in a war, pretty fucking low.
Very small.
Pretty low.
Yeah.
My son is 30 and change. He's probably not going to get yanked. I don't want to see my son or daughter come back with limbs missing. For what?
And for what?
Right.
For what?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is how quickly are we going to be in another fucking war?
Well, he's already Biden's already hired fucking Dick Cheney, the biggest warmonger going. He's a bigger warmonger than John Bolton.
And that's scary stuff. Right?
So all of a sudden, Dick Cheney's a good guy, I guess, right?
Now,
if you're a Democrat,
Dick Cheney's a good guy, and the president wants to pull 2,000 troops out of the Middle East, and out of Afghanistan, and now he's pariah. I don't understand. I say pull them all out. Pull them all out. Let it go back to what it was.
Yes. It's not our. I'm in the camp where it's not our job to be the
world police.
It's not our job.
I'm with you.
Not our job.
No, you don't understand. We're the world leaders. We should, lead by example.
Not our job.
I mean, it's beyond me. And the problem is, the 70 million people that have voted. They're like, well, Biden's in now. Now we're gonna unify. Says you.
No. That's not. We have to unify the country. Well, guess what? You have 70+ million Republicans who feel like this got stolen. So
right.
What are you going to do now?
it's the media that's tearing the country apart anyway, aside from the politicians.
Well, it's funny, right?
The media is supposed to be apolitical, they couldn't be any further.
I love when journalists get their dicks all twisted and their panties in a knot when they're insulted when Trump or somebody goes after them, and they're busy sucking each other's dicks and giving each other awards. And if you listen to the news, it's no more news. It's all opinion.
Right.
And I'm like, that's your opinion. That's not what's going on.
Right.
Are we the only 3 people that think that? I don't think so. 70 million other people.
No, I think there's a lot. Well, you saw this past weekend in D.C. I mean, was there hundreds of thousands of Republicans?
Well, and just one more example. Late night comedy TV is no longer even apolitical.
No.
Johnny Carson was apolitical. SNL, when we were kids in the 90s, was apolitical. They made fun of fucking Bush. They made fun of Clinton. They made fun of fucking everybody the same.
Right. And, well, look, I watched the Johnny Carson show in his monologue in the beginning.
And by the way, it was funny, too. It was not
would,
only apolitical, it was fucking funny. Because I watched the reruns.
He would throw out a couple of zingers and a couple of, politician jokes and this and that. But that wasn't the whole fucking
You had
show.
no idea who the guy voted for in real life.
But I also
right?
think,
Is that fair to say?
I think.
Oh, absolutely.
These late night talk show hosts are a joke. But like SNL,
not in a good way.
No, they're unwatchable.
It started in SNL. I think it started with Bush, right? Like that's when they started really getting
Bush,
out of control.
But even now, like
not that I like Bush. I'm just saying.
Well, I think everyone's also hypersensitive about it.
I love Bush. I like Disco Bush.
True that. No, I'm not a Bush guy.
Wait, you're not a Disco Bush guy?
No,
really.
I'm a bare floor guy. I'll take a little.
Did you like Scary Movie when he had to get the weed whacker?
I was listening to some comedian, and you guys are so used to bare wood floors.
Yeah.
That he said he was watching I heard it on Sirius Comedy Channel, Raw Dog, and he was saying, my wife and I are having a baby, this and that. So they show us a couple of videos of, babies being born, but they were shot in the 70s. And he's like, what the fuck is that?
Yes. When Mrs. T was pregnant the first time, we went to one of those classes, and it wasn't like a Lamaze class. It was some like what to expect class. All right, so we went.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Something like that, yeah. and it was fine. But like they show the video of someone giving birth like in like the early 80s.
Oh,
and
no.
it was like this, like not a bush, but not shaved, like
Right.
something in between, like a woman
Right.
who hasn't seen her vagina in months. And I was like, what is going on? And then like the baby comes out.
Hey, let me just ask you guys a quick question. You got enough in the tank for a break and one more, or you just want to run this to
Wait,
the
I think
tank is empty?
we got to talk about something else. I don't know. I don't know how much left I have of politics.
I'm
But
done. I'm politicked out.
I'm probably
actually-
done.
So you want to call this episode a day, and then we'll see if
Yeah.
you want to
Let's
do one
call
more?
it a day. Hey, everybody! Want to thank you for listening to Rubbing the Rhubarb. Another. Was this venting? Did we just vent,
for sure.
or
yeah.
did we say anything of substance?
We told it like it is.
Well, we vented and we didn't do anything to change anybody's mind. So
By the way, these are the express opinions of us, not of our sponsors.
The Rhubarb family.
Right of the of the Rhubarb family has nothing to do with our 237 sponsors that we have that support us. So thank you to all those to King Towing and Fred's Radiator, Joe's Pizza, and Gary's Car Wax.
And
Got a new Car Wax coming.
and don't forget Stu Gotz's HVAC.
Ooh, I like
That's
Stu
a good
Gotz's
one.
HVAC.
That's a good one.
Hey, thanks everybody.
Do we have a promo code for them, by the way?
Yes. Yes.
Just tell them Rhubarb. You get 10% off.
Type in Monkey Shines, and we'll go from there. Hey,
And Tommy
thanks.
and Tommy the Biangaline man.
Ooh, listen. If you don't remember Tommy the Biangaline man or Chi-Chi the Peaches guy, Peaches, you're laughing. That's actually a real dude. I'm gonna punt it over to you to take us out.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning back into the flagship show of the Juice Giorgio Network here on YouTube. Check us out at all the usual places. You know where to find us.
Under a rock.
And stay safe, Juice Heads.
Hey.
Later.